Everybody says don't brag, but good bragging works insanely well on dates. The problem is 99% of men brag at the wrong time and in the wrong way. So I'll show you the exact sequence that makes bragging attractive instead of cringe. I am Lucio Buffalmano, expert on power dynamics and dating psychology, and I've been dating successfully all around the world. This is what I have tested to work and confirmed by solid power dynamics principles. The common mistake men make is to brag verbally and too soon. This is also confirmed by countless women I asked to, and two of the top items that women complain the most about men on dates is 1. Talk too much, and 2. Brag too much. Talking too much doesn't work because you need bonding. And to bond well, she needs to open up to you. And bragging too much doesn't work for two reasons. Number 1, there is no evidence yet when you do it too early. Everybody can talk, but without evidence, words mean little. Number 2, it confirms the power dynamics of her being above you and you being lower value. Why? Think about what bragging truly is. It's trying hard to look good. And why will the guy do that? Because the implied frame is that she is the chooser and you are the one trying to display the goods. Dance, monkey, dance. You don't want to be the dancing monkey. Instead, the correct way of doing it is in the beginning. You show only. You show up to the date that you're well dressed, a nice watch, great posture, good perfume. Greet her with a warm and confident smile, a little hug, but without going too tight or it feels like you're forcing it and coming too strong. And then you start leading towards the date. So far, zero verbal bragging. During the date, keep it balanced. Either one-on-one or better yet, as we said, 2 units of her speaking and 1 to you. Ask follow-up questions and then relate back. That will keep a good balance. And this is where you can start displaying value verbally, but strategically. You do it indirectly. Don't even think of saying something like, I make good money, I've been all over the world, my ex was very attractive, or similar. They are all incredibly cheap. One good technique of displaying your value instead is to ask questions that allow you to display value by simply vibing back, replying and relating. For example, if you traveled a lot, you could ask about her dream destinations. Imagine she says Paris, and you say, oh yeah, Paris, it's quite popular these days. It's quite dirty though, you know? Next, she says Japan, and you say, yeah, Japan is amazing. They don't speak much English there, but they're very polite, you know, at least superficially. People are the same at their core, but it's super clean and safe. Do it 2-3 times, and she will realize by herself that you've been all around the world and you didn't even have to say it. Another technique is to look good by comparison. For example, if you met on a dating app, you can ask what's her experience there. This is a safe question, unfortunately, because most women's experience is not good. So once she shares that, you can reply, yeah, it's okay, I prefer meeting people in person anyway. This is important because it shows that you can meet women in person, a high value trait. And then you can say, but it's not too bad. I think a guy's experience is better than a woman's experience. That makes most women curious. Chances are she will ask why. And then you can say, because on average, there are more idiotic men than women. Most guys are idiots. The sub-communication, I'm not. I'm a cool guy and you got lucky. All the while, importantly, you are still also displaying nonverbal value. Good body language, you're comfortable with the silence, you lead the conversation, you lead with the food order, and then you end the meal yourself. Towards the end of the date, things start to change. If you have done a good job, she will start thinking highly of you. She will think you're a high-value man. Now, more direct bragging can work. And it can even serve as a boost for your attractiveness. It's the principle of 0-9 to 1, 90 to 100. You don't go to 0 to 1, which is starting to brag right away. But once you are in 90, a direct brag backed by confidence takes you to the last 10%. It's not strictly needed, and I personally don't do it unless she's asking for it. What do I mean by asking for it? If you have done good dating, this may click on you. And it's the women sometimes ask you questions for exactly the qualities they like about you. Questions that seem setups for bragging. If that happens, you don't only have permission to brag, but you must brag. She is looking for confirmation of her value assessment of you. If you keep being overly humble, it's both suspicious and it's a lost opportunity. Here are some examples of what I mean when you must brag. Imagine you live in the center. Then she might ask, why do you live here? You see, there is no real answer to the question unless to say, because I'm fucking rich and I can afford it. Or if you have big muscles, she might ask, why do you go to the gym? Why do you get these big muscles? There is no real answer to that question. If you're stylish and smooth, she may ask, why do you have custom-made suits? Or why did you approach me? The only answer there would be because I'm so vain and you don't know that yet, but girls always fall for charming, narcissistic players. But don't say this last one. Jokes aside, this serves you to show that you must be careful with the type of value you show. Because yes, these questions allow you to brag, but remember, you must display value that facilitates seduction, not value that harms seduction. Another risky question along that line is, why are you single? Why aren't you married yet? The intonation with those questions is very empowering for you. It says, why haven't you been snapped up already? It implies you're a hot bachelor. However, if you come across as too playery with your reply, then it can backfire. If these dynamics aren't yet clear to you, here is a simple answer that you can use for most of these questions. Because I'm a fucking winner. The way you think when you say it, the way you say it, it's the ultimate display of power and unmitigated confidence. It's the last figurative push that makes her fall for good. Again, as I mentioned previously, I do it rarely because when she asks those questions, she's already into you. At that point, instead of bragging, you can start escalating. And I much prefer that to bragging, and I advise the same to you. However, whenever I've gone for it with the direct brag, it never failed me. It either got confirming nods or even sometimes, yeah, that's true. As the relationship progresses, after intimacy, if things have gone well, then you're at 1, you're at 100%. She has seen your full value, she likes it. Direct brags at this point work to remind her of her good choice. They work a bit like nitro boosts. And I do this more often. If you took those brags from my interactions off topic without context, you will think, this guy is so arrogant. But they don't, and that's the whole point. It's because they are calibrated. One, as we've said, they already think well of you. Their mind doesn't go, he's arrogant. Their mind goes, he is super confident because he can afford to be. In those cases, bragging is a plus on a plus. It reminds her of your value and it showcases confidence. The difference is you are not forcing your value from zero. You are confirming her reality. And this is a good mindset. Think about confirming, pacing her reality instead of creating it from scratch. Better yet, as we say on the Power Moves, you are thread expanding on your value. You brag and it forces her to think, yeah, he brags, but is it true? Yeah, it's true. I've seen it this time, that other time. That's thread expanding. And at this point, a touch of arrogance is attractive. Any woman prefers an overconfident winner to a humble non-winner. The real question will be whether a woman prefers a humble winner to an arrogant winner. And that depends on the woman and also on the culture. That being said, if you're in the West and you are overly humble, then you are still losing all those nitro boosts. On average, I will say that for Western men, bragging is a plus. Also in relationships, it works well because the dynamics have changed. If you have done good relationships, like we advise and recommend on the Power Moves, your relationships are win-win. So you displaying value is a win for her. Your arrogance, your unmitigated confidence is good for her. As you can see, good bragging is all about calibration. Despite popular books, I'm sorry, there are no laws, but there are principles, but this principle you must calibrate. And the principle for bragging is 90 to 100 and 100 to 110. In words, show first, be strategic then, and then progressively confirm what you show. Then, once you've shown your full value, think about verbal dashes. These are your extra boosts. And at that point, a touch of arrogance is attractive. If you're interested in advanced strategies like these, we put them all together in Seduction University. It's the complete course for top 1% dating, going from 0 to hero. Check out the link below, it has already helped hundreds of men. Cheers, guys.